Hello, so welcome to the uh, class lecture of the substitution reaction. So here we will talk about, we'll start the lecture with nucleophilic substitution reaction. So as far as we have studied that we know what is nucleophile and electrophile. So nucleophile is basically a negative charged species, or it contains a electron pair which can act as a reagent to react with some electrophiles. Now, in a general substitution reactions, where the reagent is a nucleophile, the reaction goes via this is a substrate Rl, where L stands for the leaving group and R stands for the general alkyl group. It reacts with a nucleophile, and the nucleophile substitutes the L to have this product, and L minus leaves as a leaving group. Now, considering the mechanistic detail of this nucleophilic substitution reaction, we have in major two type of reaction, that is SN1 and SN2. This you have already studied. So here just have a look what the characteristics of SN1 reaction. We will first deal with the SN1 reaction, then go to the SN2 and make a comparative study of that. So let's start. Why is it SN1 reaction? As you know, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophiles, so it's a nucleophilic substitution, and 1 stands for the molecularity. And what is meant by the molecularity? It is the number of molecules involved in the rate determining step of the reaction. If it is a one-step reaction, that is the only one step, the number of molecules involved in that step will be the molecularity. If it is a multi-step reaction, the rate determining step, that is the slowest step, it involves that much this number of molecules in that rate determining step. So here you can see from this terminology abbreviation that SN1 is a reaction where in the RDS or rate determining state only one molecule is involved. Now, what are the steps of this reaction? The first step is RL, that is the substrate, that is going to, the bond will be dissociated, it will be definitely heterolytic cleavage, and it will produce R plus and L minus. So this R plus will definitely be a carbocation and L minus leaves. So definitely here the nature of substrate and the leaving groups, nature of the leaving groups also is very much important. We will discuss in later. In the second step, this R plus, which is produced in the first step, that is going to react with the nucleophile. The nucleophile reacts with R plus to produce RNU. So this is the product which we have got here. Now, what are the characteristics? So these are the steps. The first step, which produces the R plus ion or cation, that is going to be the slowest step of the two. So this will be termed as rate determining step, and the next one will be the relatively faster one. So if we draw a reaction coordinates, then how does it or kinetics of the reaction, how does it look like? It will look like the RL, that is the substrate, has an energy level. It will react with to dissociate into R plus. To break the bond, you need some kind of energy, so energy has to be raised, and you reach a transition state where L starts to depart from R, and you reach a R plus intermediate. Now, very important thing, you can ask me why R plus is above RL, not below RL. Is it possible? The thing is, here you have to consider the Hammond postulate. What is that Hammond postulate? The postulate says that if the R plus is closer to the RL, that means it is a energy consuming reaction. You need to consume energy for breaking the RL bond. the RL will be more structurally more closer or closer to the nearest state, that here it is R plus. So it is typical endothermic reaction. So in such endothermic reaction, the structure of the RL or the transition state will resemble like that of the end product, that is R plus in the first step. So it is very important that the transition state of this carbocation forming step is very crucial, and this is more like a carbocation rather than a neutral one. So when we talk about later, talk about the stability of the R plus or this step, that the R rate determining step of the reaction, when with that time it is very important to consider this activation energy of the reaction, that is del G prime. Then it is important to know the transition state, because its stability is very important to consider the kinetics of this reaction or possibility of the reaction. So that's why this kinetics or diagram is very much important. Now as R plus forms, it reacts easily with the RNA because R plus is quite active. It reacts with nucleophile. This del G prime for the next step is relatively lower, so reaction happens faster, you get your product. Now the very important thing is, structurally when RL dissociate into R plus, then R was a typically alkyl carbon or alkyl group, so it is a sp3 hybridized, and it is converting to R plus. The hybridization changes from sp3 to sp2. So what is the consequence of that? The consequence is, when sp2 carbon is a trivalent planar and it has a unhybridized p orbital. This p orbital has two lobes. So now in the next step, in the step 2, when nucleophile attacks R plus, it can attack from both ends of the p orbital, from here or from here. So the possibility is, definitely you will get RNU as your product, but stereochemically you are going to get two different products, which will be later called, we call it enantiomers, we come in later. So now if you think logically, so if this is a substrate, that is what we have said RL, then it can have two possible ways. So in the first pathway, the L departs completely, you get a free carbocations, you have two such lobes. Now nucleophile can attack this carbocation from both sides, up and down, so you get both the product in equal amount ideally. So it will be 50%, we call it inversion and retention. What is inversion? Inversion means if the nucleophile just replace the leaving group from the same direction, it will be called retention of configuration at R, that is this carbon. If nucleophile comes from just the opposite side of where L was there in the initial substrate, then this will be called inversion. So from RL, if the nucleophile comes here, then it will be called retention. If the nucleophiles come here, that will be an inversion. So ideally one should get 50% inversion and 50% retention, but actually this does not happen. What happens actually, because if RL dissociates in such a way that either L is not such a good leaving group, or this carbocation which is forming is not quite stable. So what happens? It reacts very quickly, or because of the attachment of the L and the poor leaving group of being a poor leaving group, L does not want to dissociate quickly. So what happens, even if this carbocation stays as a carbocation, it is very much closely associated with an L minus. So the nucleophile which will come later in the second step, they cannot approach the carbocation from this side. Rather, the nucleophile is preferably attached from the opposite side of the L, which in turn leads to more percentage of the inverted product compared to the retention product, and that's why you will get more inverted configuration of the product rather than the retention product. So the ideality is not always obtained. In fact, in most of the cases you will get a mixture of the product where the racemization happens, and we'll talk about later when we deal with the stereochemistry of the SN1 reaction. So now these are the characteristics of the SN1 reaction. So what we are going to talk now is the factors which affects the rate of the SN1 reaction. So what are the factors? The factors which will affect the reaction, first thing is the substrate, the structure of the substrate, because substrate is involved in the rate determining step. There is no other involvement of nucleophile or etc. As you have seen, the rate is rate constant into the substrate. So structure of the substrate is very much important. So we'll talk about the factors that affecting SN1 reaction. So we'll start first with structure of the substrate. So as you know, it goes via forming an R plus intermediate, that is carbocation is very, very important. So as from the concept of carbocation, you know the first thing is, you know the tertiary carbocation is greater than, more stable than secondary, and secondary is more stable than primary. I am not going into the detail why is it so. It is because of the resonance, hyperconjugation, inductive effect, etc. And there are some very stable carbocation also. We are not going into detail of the carbocation, but important thing is, because these are the order of the stability, so 3 degree or tertiary halides, if the R is a tertiary alkyl group, they prefer to undergo SN1 reaction faster compared to the primary halide or secondary halide. So primary halide is always like these things, suppose CH3, C2H5, C2C3H7, this kind of substances is always, a substrate is always a very, very good candidate for the SN1 reaction. Now what you need to consider very logically is that because we have discussed about this Hammond postulate, consider the first step. So this transition state are basically a candidate for when the leaving group does not dissociate completely, but it is started to dissociate. But what happens in this case, because this is a typical endothermic reaction, this transition state will be very much similar in structure and resemblance like that of R plus. So you can imagine any factor which can stabilize a carbocation, that can stabilize this transition state, and the more stable the transition state is, the less will be the delta G prime value, that is the activation energy of the determining state, and less the value of the del G prime, more is the speed of the SN1 reaction or the rate of the reaction. So any parameter that is going to favor or stabilize a carbocationic transition state or carbocation like transition state, that is going to favor SN1 reaction. So as you know, so if you want to make an order of these different type of halides, we can say this kind of halide which has pH3C, if X liberates, you will press pH3C plus, and this C plus will be stabilized by the resonance from the 3 pH ring. So, and there are 2 pH rings, so there will be relatively less stabilization, and also substrate like CH2, CH, CH2X, these are allyl or if something is stabilized by the, in case of benzene ring, if there are some stabilizing group at the para position plus R donating group, it can stabilize the transition state from the substrate. Remember one thing, whenever you are considering SN1 reaction, you want to dissociate this bond, and you have to consider the stability of the resulting carbocation which is forming after dissociation. More stable this species is, more is the rate of the reaction. These are mainly the electronic effects of on the substrate. But apart from that, you have some other criteria which can also stabilize the transition state and thereby increase the speed of the reaction. One of the very important thing is, suppose some molecule on the substrate is very much strained, energetically it is very much strained, so its level of energy is somewhat higher compared to the other molecule. Suppose these are very similar kind of structure with a or enantiomer kind of thing. Now if this is a substrate molecule, suppose they are attaining a same transition state, so they have the transition state here. Now this already strained molecule, they are energetically above compared to the relatively non-strained molecule or stable molecule, but they are attaining the same transition states. So now this del G prime will be higher compared to this del G prime. So in such case, if this substance going for or substrate going for the SN1 reaction, this will be reacting in a faster rate compared to this one, just because this is called relief of strain to become a carbocations, and this can be observed in a molecule like this is a cyclohexane, where you put some leaving groups and the same molecules. What is the difference? Here OTS is cyclohexane ring, you have an axial and equatorial bonds, and the ring flipping is restricted by the imposing a tertiary butyl group, and you have a OTS group tosylate, and this will have a syn axial repulsion from axial hydrogen. But because this OTS in the equatorial position, this will not have any steric crowdings. So energetically, if you consider this one, this molecule will be like this. If you say 1, this is 1, and if it is 2, this is 2. So now if you remove this leaving group, you will attain the same transition state. That is here. So this is the transition state and this is the transition state. Now because this molecule 1 is higher in energy, so it requires less activation energy to reach the transition state. So 1 will react faster compared to 2. This is called the relief of steric strain or steric relief, that helps to increase the rate of the SN1 reaction, because on going towards the carbocations, the relief of steric strain makes this one more susceptible for the SN1 reaction. Apart from these things, we have some other things like rigidity of the structure, or one very important thing is the bridgehead carbon. Bridgehead carbon. What is that? If you have compound like this position is called bridgehead position, because they are this carbon or bridgehead carbons, they are making a bridge joining this two ring. Now if any leaving group is attached to it here, like halogen, any halogens or OTS, etc., it is difficult to remove these things and produce this type of carbocation, because it will impose huge distortion in the ring, because it is a rigid structure. So there will be a tremendous strain that will generate it in this structure. So this reaction is not possible. So this will react in the SN1 reaction in a very, very slow or even very, very poor reaction rate. In fact, it is maybe not possible in reality. But if you, although these are all tertiary halide, you see these are all tertiary halide, still you cannot, there are tertiary halides is very much active toward SN1 reaction. But if you flexible the ring to some extent, like in such cases, there are some relief of, due to the flexibility of the ring, there are some increase on going from here to here in the rate of the SN1 reaction, because if you remove this, the resulting carbocation is possible to prepare to possess here, because to exist here, because due to the flexibility of the ring, they can afford to make some kind of distortion in the structure. So the rate of the SN1 reaction of this substrate will be higher compared to this one. This type of questions usually is asked in the exam. We can later discuss about the problems. Another very good example is the example of neopentyl type substrate. In a compound like, for example, this, for a compound like this, to participate in SN1 reaction, you will remove this one and the resulting will be this one. The resulting carbocation will be this one. Now this is an 1 degree carbocation. So what happens here? Ideally you should get the product from here. You can get a nucleophile add here and you will get the nucleophilic substitution. But here that is very, very minor product. The actual product comes via migration of this methyl group, and this type of migration is called neopentyl type rearrangement. Neopentyl type rearrangement. Why is it so? Because first of all, this carbon is a neopentyl structure, and this rearrangement, why is it so important? Because this rearrangement will lead to formation of more stable carbocation. This is from 1 degree, it is now becoming a tertiary carbocation. Now through this rearrangement, more stable carbocation is possible to form. So the actual product will derive from this carbocation, not this. You might get a very minor product from this, but the major product will be from this one. Now nucleophile will attack at this carbon, and you will get the major product from this nucleophile. So these are very much important, and this usually happens very frequently whenever there is a possibility of migration to produce more stable carbocation. Later when we talk about the problems, we can have some more example like this.